In order, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to get started tonight with the SP Spark Awards. SP stands for Exceptional Student Performance this year. And Spark is self-awareness, positivity, attitude of gratitude, respect, and kindness. So this award is given to students who are doing well academically and have an exceptionally positive attitude about school. They demonstrate respect and responsibility towards staff and their peers. They show courage by not conforming to peer pressure and refuse to accept anyone who bullies. The board and the district want to recognize these students by celebrating their success at the beginning of the board meeting. The kids will get a certificate, and then your name will get entered into a drawing at the end of the year for, in the past, it's been an iPad or a Chromebook or something like that. A little bit of a gift for recognition there. So, and Floyd Newshwonder is going to be handing these out tonight. So when you hear your name come up, get your award from him. And then afterwards, if we can get all the kids back up, the New Era likes to take a picture of all the kids and help celebrate you guys too there. So.
Okay, start us off with the high school, Rebecca Burke. Little high school, Natalie Hahn. Junior high, Brooke Doyle. Still the junior high, Lucas Schultz. Move down to Foster, Ivan Burrow. This young lady, my wife's class, when's your favorite? It's Carmen Skeeter. Hawthorne, Abigail Banker. Hawthorne, Carolyn Sims. Okay. Holly, Rock Markham. Okay, Christopher McConnell. Okay, Lawrence Abercrombie. The first school, Paisley Baker. And last, Jackson Aguilar Muller.
All right, can we get all the kids back up here? And the New Era will get a picture of you guys from the newspaper.
I like it, you know, not that big.
Marlene, I saw you. Turn around and face him right there.
All right, now hold up your invite and see your name, really helpful. It's really get your reading ready. Ready? On three, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right.
A lot of activities going on around the school. That's why not all the kids were here tonight. So we'll make sure and get those awards to them and get them recognition at their schools. We do recognize this as a school night, so parents, if you'd like to, you can leave with your kids at this point. We won't take offense to it. Or you can stay for the rest of the meeting if you want. No.
That's normally what happens.
Oh, it's that basketball player down in the end, didn't take a shower. They're all leaving. What do you think? Oh, good. I was giving you some grief. I said, they're all leaving because you didn't take a shower.
Just with so many different things.
Oh, okay. I actually did too.
He's getting ready for his 15-minute speech.
Oh, I know. You have 15 minutes?
What? Thank you. Yeah, thank you for. You're not expected to. We're just harassing you a bit.
All right, we do have a couple of late items that we added to the agenda. So on the consent agenda, 5B, approve the wrestling out of state trip. And under information and discussion, 6B, the OSBA election information. And that's one that if we decide to, we can move to an action. We can just take the information in and go from there. So
Move the consent agenda as amended.
we're not there to the consent agenda. We're just approving the agenda.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Consent agenda.
Okay.
Not-
All right.
Not the changes to the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda tonight. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll move on then. Student personnel reports. I don't see Steve or Velma here tonight, so. We got anybody here to represent them? I don't want to pass up if we do.
Justify the wrestling out of state trip.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And we'd be here for 30 minutes.
Might be a shorter meeting. Let's go right to the student. All right, student report. Would you introduce yourself and?
I'm Andy Buck. I am a junior at Cleveland High School. I am the captain of the soccer team. I'm here representing them today. I'm also a member of the leadership class. Our soccer team is here off of that. We got first all state for academics throughout all the state and all the leagues. We had an average of a 3.8 GPA. And the next one below was a 7. So we got first in that. Pretty cool. And then leadership wise, we just had a canned food drive. We raised $3,848 and we got 2,374 pounds of food. And using all that food and money, we were able to feed 50 families, so 200 individuals. And with using some of that money as well, we took some of the stuff and sharing food from the fire department and were able to get 30 kids buddies this year. Then another thing that we have been doing as a leadership class is we have been bringing in community leaders like our mayor, Cindy Coleman, our fire chief, Nick Tyler, Rob Younger, who is the former leadership person. And then we'll also have Steve Thorpe come in and talk to us and give us some leadership lecture series, what we're calling. That has been going pretty good. We've had 5 so far. So that we're going pretty well. And then we also sent our younger class board, which is the freshmen and sophomores. over to a Jocelyn's Leadership Conference, which that went very well. And then NHS, we had 15 new members inducted.
All right.
Oh, one more thing, sorry. We also have a unified basketball game this Tuesday at 2:15.
Where's that at?
We're at,
It's over
At the high school.
Is in tomorrow?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Thursday, sorry.
At 2.
2:15.
Right, any other questions? Still got 30 minutes. Take the wins where we can. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
thank you, Ken. Congratulations.
All right, superintendent's report. Terry, I'll turn it over to you.
This, the same usually goes for the student rep. We don't usually make you stay the whole meeting. We know you got homework.
Good morning.
Have a nice night.
You too.
Ready? Yep.
Okay, our enrollment, we are down 13 from last month. And as we talked about, reporting out on our numbers, the number one is folks moving. Second is 10-day drops. And as we've heard before, some of those, if a student is gone 10 days in a row, we have to drop them. And a number of them end up coming back and re-enrolling. But one is moving, two is 10-day drops. And then the final is a few did move to online. So that's the enrollment on attendance. Last month's highest attendance was Hawthorne again. So congratulations to Hawthorne. They're not here tonight because they are having their program up the street at the high school. So on pillar reports, first one was a soccer achievement. Great job. 3.83 was their collective GPA. So that's wonderful. On Thriving Citizen, we spoke. We had OSBA here that did training for us in the work session. And there was mention of asking them to potentially help us through this strategic plan as they've done in the past. In the past, they've been able to do so at no charge, but like everything or everyone else, their fundings are coming in lower than what they need. So our fees with them are going up, and instead of doing it free, some of their services are still free and some are on a charge basis. To do the entire strategic plan with us, it would be from 5,000 on the low side to 8,000 on the high side for the entire piece. And we talked about that as board officers. And so I am looking for feedback on that from the board, if that's how we want to proceed or not.
That's considerably less than others have quoted us.
It is, and they have the track record both with our district and districts around the state of doing so. They did a nice job. Jen did a nice job here working with us in the training session. And they have worked with us on the majority of our past plans.
What's the timeline?
It will be from here probably into this summer. And we would have work sessions on board meeting nights.
They be coming in person or do they just be zooming in?
The majority they would do in person. If there's just a brief overview that they need to do, they can do that by Zoom. But it sounds to me as if Jen herself would come back. She's from Carleton and is familiar with small towns. And I thought she, worked really well with us during the training. So
Do we need consensus or do we want to take action on it or how do you want it?
I'd like to hear back, yeah, so that we can move forward. With that, you know, if we are going to do that or we're not going to do that. That was requested, and so
Okay, so for consensus, is there anybody that has a problem with that idea? Having OSBA come in and do they're simply guiding the process. They're not inputting on what the strategic plan will come out as. It's just simply, here's the process, set that, up, and we go through the process with it, so.
I think first of all, she'll probably meet with us and see what we wanted. You know, if there's things that we wanted in there, right? Is that what they do, or they're meeting with you and see what?
we talked with them about the process and what we're looking for. And so that's how they were able to come up with the
number?
figures, yeah.
I'm gonna for it.
So what exactly do we get for $8,000? We guide the process. That's a little vague. I don't quite understand. I don't want to say I'm against it. I'm just saying I don't understand exactly what services they provide that we couldn't do ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
This is new to me, so I haven't been through a strategic plan.
Yeah. My understanding is that out of the last 4 strategic plans, they've helped us with 3 of the 4. And as, I don't recall Dale or Jason, just the actual process itself. When we were doing the training, for example, they had, I think, 100 different words. And we went through those words for which ones resonated with us. Service, accountability, ethics. And so guiding the process, not giving input into it, but just keeping us on task with what we need to accomplish.
Facilitation.
I'm sorry,
Facilitation.
that's a good one. What do you think, Kevin?
So
Think it's a good investment? You're the money man.
I'm gonna defer to the board on this.
The benefit that I see of having somebody come in from the outside and do it is that it allows us as board members, it allows Terry to fully work inside of the process. Instead of having somebody who's trying to guide it as well as be involved
Yeah,
in it.
and not be part of the process.
Yeah, it'll streamline it because it'll keep us focused and on task. It'll allow everybody to be fully engaged in the process. I get it, the potential for $8,000 is a lot of money. But at the same time, this is something that we're looking at for the next 5 years. And hopefully coming up with a document like the one on the back there that has kind of the direction that the board sees for the next 5 years. And some goals to set and things like that.
is there an actual strategic plan, like in a notebook, a document that's written more than just the poster?
Yes, that the poster is kind of the overview.
Hey, bring it to the top of your mind.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
There, it's on the wall, so you can see it every time.
I don't know how,
And I like it because in the past, it wasn't one.
yeah. Well, and I don't know how big the document is that actually is all the steps, but that's basically what the board uses then to hand to Terry. And says, okay, here's the guidance. Now put actions to these things. And then we periodically check back with those on where those actions, what's going on with them. So it helps to establish the direction and then
Keeps us
directs Terry as well in where we're going.
and keeps us on track too.
Keeps us on track too.
The whole idea of the strategic plan, I just don't want to be throwing money away on hiring out a third party on something we could do ourselves. That's all. You know what I mean? But if you think that,
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, if you think that we aren't capable or we need the help or we could be better served if we have a third party guiding us. I mean, I'm not absolutely opposed. I'm just trying to feel it out and get it, feel it.
Maybe like something that we could do is earmark that money. And if we find as a group that we need a facilitator, we'll have the money. But if we don't need a facilitator, we can put that back in the budget. I mean, we lost 13 more. We have PERS has an increase. Everything seems to be increasing. So it's just an idea just to earmark it. And if we need it, we can call her. And if we don't,
I don't think she'd be able to do it.
well, there might be someone else from.
You need to get her scheduled and
Yeah.
have it on board,
Yeah.
not just on.
Cause I talked to her about it the other day. Well, one of the things I'll say is I've been on a lot of boards, commissions. All over the state and in the United States. And we've all had strategic plans. And we found that if you leave the strategic plan up to the person that's in the office or the head of that deal, they spend so much time doing that they can't do their regular job. You know, I mean, it takes a lot to do that. And we penciled it out one time and it was not worth it. I mean, it was the amount of time that they put in, and not just him, but all the other staff trying to do this stuff. It was,
We still have to make the strategic plan. This facilitator is just gonna sort of guide us and tell us the wording to use and the outline to maybe put it in, so we're not just shooting in the dark, but I think we probably have past strategic plans that we can look at for an outline and for what sort of verbiage you use, and obviously, maybe there's new things that come up, because the OSBA is kind of on the cutting edge of new stuff that comes up that we need to be aware of, and so, I mean, I can see it where it might be of use, but I'm not absolutely 100% sold on giving them $8,000 for something they used to do for free. You know what I mean? And so.
I don't think it would be free. We did it. I think.
What was the
still
last
cost.
quote?
A low of 5,000, which would end up being $1,000 per year.
Not, I mean, other than the quote that we got from the other third party.
Oh, they were 50 to 70,000 per year. In the one that a nearby school district is using, they wanted a 3-year process for 70,000 a year. We're not doing that.
That's why nearby school districts are growing.
Yeah,
That's very true. So at $1,000 on the low side to 1,600 on the high. I think it would be well worth spending the money to have that done, because we want the absolute best strategic plan we can put forward. However, if that's not the will of the collective board, that's fine too.
And they have been through an update also.
So maybe a
So
question,
this 5,000 to 8,000 is for multiple years.
Well, it's 5-year plan, so if you break it down, it works out to $1,600 a year.
will she take the plan? Maybe a better question is not what you think about this, but do we have $5,000 to $8,000?
We do, yes.
so is that, do you need a motion?
If we want to take action on it, we'll have to move it to an action item.
That's what I.
If consensus is good with everybody, then we can just give Terry consensus on it as well. Which is kind of why I said, is there anybody that has a real strong opinion on it? So.
In theory, this isn't something that the board actually has to vote on. I mean, this is under $8,000.
Yeah.
You
Correct.
can write the checks. I mean, right?
Yes, that's
So we're
correct,
just
yes.
asking what we think.
Yeah,
He's just looking for some guidance on it.
Right.
is
Oh,
all.
I appreciate
So,
it.
but we should show that support
I see.
from the board.
Now I understand. Okay. So we just have to make it an action item?
We can, or
We
nobody's
can, or we
opposed.
can
Oh,
do
We
it.
can just say-
I got you. Okay.
Okay, so,
if nobody,
I'd give a thumbs up.
if nobody has
Yeah.
any strong opinion anyway, then, or in opposition to it, then I think we have consensus.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
I do appreciate you bringing it up and
Yeah.
talking it out with us, so we
Yeah.
know what's going on. But
Yeah, absolutely. Good questions. Thriving Community Pillar 3, we have Jason Hay, and I know at least one of your board members from the ESD that will speak to us. And then on just following mine, Pillar 4, safe and welcoming facilities and service. Folks were asking about our grand opening, reopening, if you will, of Oak Heights. And Josh painting in the entry. There's painting done, now we're just down to the entry.
We're close.
Okay, so we're closing in on that. I would expect it after the first of the year. That we'll do that, invite the community in to see the newly remodeled and renovated Oak Heights campus. So with that, Jason, would you like to address the board?
Hello, everyone. Got a handout for you. That's Sir, my name is Jason Van, I'm superintendent of the Methodist Institute. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight for just a few minutes. With me, I have, you know, with all the respect to our chair here, but with me, I have Gene Booth, who I think is one of the most fantastic board chairs that anybody could ask for yourself.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So I appreciate she appreciates coming to meetings and meeting with our public district boards and attends many meetings with them. And so one of the things that we try to do every year is make sure we attend each of our public district boards. A little bit about what the ESP does, be able to answer any questions that you might have. And so I appreciate you being here, so thank you. And thank you for having me. So the ESP, there's just a little bit of information. This is data. You can see there's data on one side that shows some of the things that we provide that are easily quantifiable. Some of the grants, some of the assessments, you can see the staff that serve your district on one side. And then on the other side, just some quick stats in terms of tickets that are resolved and things that we do. So the biggest thing that I always like to share is that the ESP provides services that would be very difficult, if impossible, especially for small districts to be able to do, just in terms of the economy of state. We, for example, we have computer specialists that you utilize, school psychologists to do special education testing and technology people that we just can have more people that can provide these services because it's the collective. And so working together really works well for us to create some. It's truly a pleasure to work with your superintendent. Very contributes really well to our region and really represents who we want. And so it really shows.
Thank you.
I just want to open it up and see if you have a question at this time. One more thing before I do that. We have something that will be coming here, hopefully in January, February. Every year, we ask you to approve our local service plan. Typically, every other year, we do a review of the local service plan to see what is collectively paid for by ESP resolution dollars. So the way that the funding works is ESP receives state funding, it's general fund dollars, just like what you receive for most of your school district dollars. 90% of it goes out to school districts. ESP holds 10% to be able to run the operation. And in that 90%, the superintendents actually items of it is they vote and guide me on what services they want to see in the tier 1 services of what everyone gets. And that creates a budget. And then that budget gets approved. And then there's any leftover funds from tier 2 funds that are distributed based on the and for each district. And what we have going on this year is a pretty big review of that local service. Really going through all the language in it. We've had multiple work sessions, and actually this Friday we have a superintendent meeting that I'm hoping all the superintendents will approve the plan based on all the guidance that we've had. When we talk about consensus, we've had consensus on language and going through. Once they approve the plan, I will bring it to my board to approve, and then once my board approves it, it gets sent out. which will typically come through in January. So that's a little bit about process with that. Just a little bit more context in terms of budgets and when people wonder what the ESP does budgetarily. So those resolution dollars make up just a portion of our funding that we operate with at the ESP, because we also operate several large programs. And so if you look at the tier 1 services that all of the districts get, it's voted on at people service plan by our superintendent boards, provides about 15 million or 55 million dollars that I operate with in terms of the project. The rest of the funds that we have at ESP all come through grants. Some of the big grants that we have are early childhood and special education, which we move on half of the whole region, and so we have little ones, pre-K ones that are services to the state. We have regional inclusive services, which are some really highly specialized services for special ed, so 1% of the immediate special ed students. We have a long-term parent treatment grant, and so that actually is we provide services for a residential facility. So there are some things that we do that are just working with grant funds. With that, I'll see if you have any questions.
So that $55 million, that comes from the state, or does it come through us and we filter it out?
No, it comes from the state, it's either state or federal.
Okay. And what does ADMW stand for?
That is average daily membership, and so that's how you receive your funding as well, is to weighted.
And that's based on how many kids that we have that are getting the services.
Exactly, yeah, so you have a certain number of kids, so your ADMR are your just straight number of students that you have in the district. And ADMW assumes that some students actually get additional rates, so especially students get additional kids that are additional, which learners get additional fraction. Very important. One of the challenges that we have in our region, we actually have to. So I was working on the most final version of our local service plan draft. We will bring in superintendents this Friday, and in there is a number that 2 years ago we had 37,000 students in our whole region, and currently we only have 34,500 students. So we've lost students in our region, which if your numbers go down, it's your books. And the number regionally go down,
So even if they go to homeschool, you have to serve them?
If they go to, so if they're in homeschool, if there are special education needs, yes.
Like blind or?
Exactly, yeah, visually impaired, yeah, me absolutely fine, visually impaired, if there's other special needs that are there, yes, we still have services. That are. Well, I will offer up, Superintendent Martin, and let me know if you'd like, you to come back, when we get to local service plan time, happy to come back to it when we leave, and so there's you, if there are questions about that. It's honestly, the best document that really shows the picture of I'm pretty proud of what we're putting together so far. Definitely excited about it. I just think it's
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, next we have our consent agenda. Approve the minutes from the November 18, 2024 school board meeting and November 21, 2024 work session minutes. And then the late item, approve the wrestling out of state field trip to Reno, Nevada, December 20th, 2024. Second. We'll go with Mary on that one.
Yeah.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda passes. Budget update and PERS pension cost increases, Kevin.
Okay, thanks, Jason. This is item 6A in the board docket. We now completed 5 months of the fiscal year. Year-to-date spending, for this year compared to last year is up, almost $500,000. That still puts us on track to, stay within the amount that was budgeted for this year. It is noted, the past few years, we've had quite a bit of margin because we've had, a number of unfilled positions. This year, we have most of our positions filled, and as a result, we're going to be much closer to what that budgeted total was. And really, the main reasons why expenditures this year are higher than last year, largely due to higher labor costs and having more filled positions, and also higher negotiated salary, wage, and benefit increases.
I can't find that in our packet. Or anybody
See,
see
it's simply the one.
Then the one was set up.
It's over there.
If you want, here you go.
Grabbing one more.
Questions for Kevin on the budget update? Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, and then next item in the board packet, first pension costs, just want you to be aware that starting July 1st, we expect fairly substantial increase in our first pension costs. We're not alone, quite a few other school districts are expecting the same. There's an excellent article included in your board packet from the Oregonian that kind of helps explain this. So just want this to be on your radar screen.
Do you foresee us being able to cover that, or is this something we're gonna be a problem?
Well, you know, the good news is we knew that this was coming, and so we've been preparing for it, and so we've been intentionally building reserves. So we're prepared. So I think on that side, we can handle it. At the same time, too, you know, when you look at the enrollment information that Terry showed or shared with us earlier, you know, we always need to be adjusting our staffing to our student levels, and that's something that we'll need to be looking at too as we build the budget.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Next, we have the second of the lead items there. OSBA election information. This is one that we have sometimes participated in and sometimes not participated in the past. So that's why we added it as just a information discussion item. We have board of directors position, legislative policy committee positions, amending the OSBA dues schedule, and the resolution 2 to create a pride caucus. I got your attention. I believe that is what it sounds like it is. So, what's that? Okay, so, again, this is information. We can have a discussion as to whether or not we want to take action on these things, take action on one or two of them.
If we take action, it has to be tonight.
If we take action, it has to be tonight, correct? Yeah,
Or we can just let it go by.
we can take no action. And that's one of the, Julie usually fills out the what our position was on this. And so basically this just, if we don't take any action on it, Julie just puts in there, no action taken.
But we can also do no,
We can also do
do not.
no, or we can abstain. So,
Does the no actually have any impact at our level? where it says no, do not adopt.
Yeah, it goes to the OSBA board. Goes up there and is included in their vote as a no.
Okay,
One of how many districts in the state?
For some of this, it's just. For
Right, for the positions.
They're 144.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
well, I've met Clyde.
If we're gonna take
Yeah.
action on this, we need to make it an action item.
We can't talk before.
So
I
we're
will-
basically just discussing whether or not we want to move it to an action item. So we have all the information.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move this to action item.
To clarify all of it.
All of it, we can vote no or yes or whatever, it's each individual one, so.
Motion,
So if it doesn't get seconded, this just,
It decides.
and we have no impact on the vote.
No, just.
It just. But you're also saying we could go through this and vote some and others.
we have the option to abstain
Yep,
as well.
And even if we move it to an action item, and then after our discussion, we decide not to even do anything with it at all, is that an option?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on moving this to an action item? Right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Didn't see who seconded.
Mary did, yes. Yeah. So I didn't catch, did you catch which one that went?
I was an aye.
so
You guys were nays?
We were nays.
Okay, so we're 4-2. So we will move it to an action item. We will add that then as 7C. OSBA. What's that called?
election.
Election. Information, election. All right, we'll start in with the action items. So 7A, approve the 2025-26 proposed budget calendar. And this is in the packet that was sent out the other day, not the addition tonight. So does everybody have that? We do have a couple extra copies over there, I think. Kevin, do you want to kind of touch on this, just to kind of give us an idea of what might have changed, what stayed the same from one year to the next?
Sure, Jason, it's very similar to the budget calendar that we've been using the past several years. The important, for the budget committee, the first would be on Monday, May 12th, 2025. That's the same night as the May school board meeting. We would be having the first budget committee meeting at 5 p.m. Then if a second budget committee meeting is necessary, it will be on Wednesday at that week. And if a third budget committee meeting is necessary, it will be on Thursday at that week.
I make a motion that we accept the proposed budget calendar for 2025-26 as written.
Okay, we motion and a second, any discussion? All right, hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Board policies, this is the final reading for these policies that we pulled to reconsider. So they are EBAA first aid, deleting the old policy, or EBBA, sorry, EBBA, student health services, EBBAA, infection control and bloodborne pathogens, EBBB, injury and illness reports, EDC, emergency plan and first aid, EBC/EBCA, Emergency Procedures and Disaster Plan, deleting EBCA Safety Threats, EBCB Emergency Procedure Drills and Instruction, GBEB Communicable Diseases in Schools, and GBEB, the AR that goes along with that Communicable Diseases in Schools policy.
I make a motion, we approve the policies.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'm the one who started this whole mess.
Yeah, we have to say,
Well, it seems like one of the things that I was most concerned with has been taken off of the policy. So I'm very glad to see that. I don't know how come that change was made, if it was made at the OSBA level. But it is no longer in that policy. That was the most controversial in my opinion. And so only thing with me and is the first aid. It just seems to me it's more comprehensive than the new first aid. And I feel like we should keep the old first aid policy because it is more comprehensive and it gives more responsibility at the school level. Where the new policy, which we can also adopt, it just has a blurb about the first aid. So I'd hate to see us do away with a really solid policy and replace it with something that's not as comprehensive. So that's the only thing that I would like.
Is that something that could be addressed by Terry and the administrative rules around that?
So that was,
How the policy's implemented, basically?
yeah, I think that's that really long one that, let me just get to it.
Well-
So the student health services, that one.
That first aid was reorganized into EBC
Well, it was.
according to an OAR.
It was split.
Right.
First aid policy, the EBBA was split to EBBA, EBBAA, EBBB, and EBC.
Okay, hold on.
So it took that policy and broke it down
Mhm,
to where we've got 4 policies in place of one.
right.
Probably looking for clarity around new laws and things like that. I would assume that's the reason why.
I
So,
see what you're saying. I do know that the EBBA, all of the policies that we currently have in our books are listed here. I just didn't see first aid listed here. So. I think I see what you're saying. It's within the new policy, just broken down. Okay, I understand that now.
and I think, and I'm just kind of going out there with this. I think this is just to create clarity around
Mhm,
some of the other issues that were lumped into the first aid policy.
right.
I think that's what they were going for here. So,
We still have to have our own policies within school district for how we do this on the bus, how we do this in the,
Mhm.
you know, on the playground and those things. So they'll all be written based upon this policy. Right here.
Is that right?
And there's compliancy overlays too. So on EBC, for example, we need to have a first aid card, 1 card for every 60 students. That is now in our Division 22 requirements. And so there are multiple safety checks here that largely, to me, keep things in place.
I didn't see anything particularly in there, so I didn't from that. It seemed like
Mhm.
all pretty solid.
Yep.
So.
any other discussion? All right, hearing none, motion is to approve all of the policies as presented, correct?
Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. 7C, the OSBA election. I guess there's another resolution back here that I didn't see. So maybe the best way to do this is just kind of go one by one on these things and just kind of see where everybody's at. And we can decide on them individually, probably. So,
That's good to me.
first one there is Board of Directors, position 10. We're gonna vote for one. We have two options, Clyde Rude and Lahui White Bear. I hope I'm saying her name correctly in that one. Or we have the option to abstain or take no action as well. So they each had a kind of a write up here in the packet here.
I would make the motion of no action on this because I don't think we know either.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to take no action. We're taking action to take no action.
Last discussion, Clyde has reached out to me and I have talked to him.
I know him a little bit, but I don't know her.
Well, I know Clyde as well. He's pretty solid.
You know,
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to take no action on this one. So any discussion around the motion? Right, hearing none, all in favor of taking no action? Aye.
No,
All opposed? So we're 3-3 here. Oh. Okay, what's?
let's see.
She is.
Amanda was, yes,
You got some thumbs up.
so she wants to take no action.
that would be a yes.
Okay, so then we're 4-3 on that one. So,
I make a motion, Chair, that we take no action on the rest of them.
I'll second that.
okay, we have a motion and a second to take no action on the balance here. Any discussion?
The only reason I seconded the motion was because I wanted to send a message. And by saying take no action, then it's just a no vote. What I wanted
It
was
sends a
to
message.
say, no, do not adopt. So that was the only thing I wanted to, instead of no action, just set that have this be an actual no vote.
I see what you mean, but I
Right.
think sometimes no action means no
It's-
action, means you didn't really approve of it in spirit, so you said no action. I don't know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can
Does it count
rail and
though
throw your
under the
fist in here,
overall?
it's the same effect.
Does it? But
I don't
thought-
think it does.
Yeah.
If there's no action, it's like they're not there, so it
Mhm.
reduces the.
The no, do not adopt says, it actually, I think it acts as a vote.
Yeah,
Well, it's only have the motion, so it's a higher number on the vote, so you can hurt yourself or help yourself. So let's vote on this, and if
We do have a motion on
if
the,
the ayes have it, great, if the nays have it, then we'll
Okay.
go further.
okay, so the motion is to take no action on the other 5. Correct. The 6, 7, and 8 there are just simply informational.
yeah, I was just making sure
So,
that it had that
yeah.
option for
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah. There's one more in the back. Oh, yeah.
There's one on the
I
back.
can't see, I don't have my glasses on. 2 through 5, so there's 4 that we're not taking action on. So, okay, so everybody's clear on the motion? All right, no more discussion? Okay, all in favor of taking no action? Aye,
I,
and all in favor of taking action?
Aye.
Aye.
We want to
She wants to be on.
take no action. Okay, so take no action is where we're going. You got that, Julie, so you can input those. Okay, thank you.
got it, yes, right there.
All right, I did not receive any public comments tonight. Do we have any board comments?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, thanks. Merry Christmas to you too.
Happy New Year too, because it'll be after the new year before we get back. So.
I will say this, there's a lot of things going on in the community. And we need to get out there and support our community because there's a lot of things that people put a lot of time and effort into. And we should get out there and support those things as much as we can.
Did we send out anything on behalf of the board to the schools? Like, thank you for your hard work. Merry Christmas, anything like that?
We haven't.
Okay.
You work on this? All right, we got the late items out of the way. So future agenda items, next board officers meeting is Monday, January 6th at 3:30 in the superintendent's office, and next board meeting is Monday, January 13th at 6:30 here in the boardroom. We're adjourned.
Question.